Howdy, friends and family. Thank you so much for joining me. This is day 15 in the series I'm doing called In the Midst, and we are looking at love in part 4 right now, and we're looking at the definition we get from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. We talked about contentment last time, and we talked about contentment with our circumstances. Today we are continuing to look at contentment, but today we are talking about how Jesus is greater than our earthly possessions. And so we're going to look at two implications of this first. So Matthew 6:19 through 21 says, "Don't store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy, where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, where thieves don't break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So this is saying that Jesus is greater than earthly things because Jesus is eternal. The earthly things that we can have are not going to last. They are temporary. And then the second thing we see is in Matthew 6:24, which says, "No one can serve two masters, since either he will hate one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." We also see in 1 Timothy 6:6 through 10, "But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into the world and we can take nothing out. If we have food and clothing, we will be content with these. But those who want to be rich fall into temptation, a trap, and many foolish and harmful desires, which plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil, and by craving it, some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs." So these two passages are saying that putting riches at the same level of God is actually going to pull you away from God. That's why it says the love of money is the root of all evil. Because money, if we put money and earthly possessions and things, if we put our desire for them above or even at the same level as God, it's actually going to pull us away from God, and we're going to end up putting money and those things first. So there are two things this does not mean. First, this does not mean it is wrong to be rich or to have things. It's okay to have earthly possessions. There's nothing wrong with that. God blesses you with them. It is saying don't put your hope in them because they aren't going to last. Being rich and having a certain item is not going to solve all your problems. It won't really solve any problems. It can't save you. Only Jesus can do that. Jesus is greater than earthly possessions and riches because he offers you salvation. The second thing this does not mean is it does not mean it's wrong to want something. If you see someone eating a chocolate chip muffin and you want a chocolate chip muffin, that is not wrong. It is okay to want something. What is wrong is when we feel jealous or envious, which, remember, these words are not just wanting something, they are wanting something and resenting someone because someone has that thing. So really what this is saying is to have your priorities straight. Keep Jesus greater than earthly possessions. Jesus should be first in your life. And when your first goal is to seek Jesus, you can be content because you always have him. So just as it says in Hebrews 13:5, "Keep your life free from the love of money. Be satisfied with what you have, for he himself has said, 'I will never leave you or abandon you.'" So put Jesus first. Put him as your first priority and have contentment, knowing that you will always have him. If you're memorizing 1 Corinthians 13:4 through 8a, this is your reminder to do that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.